big round of applause for our conductor, our maestro, Yuichi Udagawa. Give him your biggest applause.
We have a special treat today because we have State Senator Bruce Tarr, and he's going to come out and talk to you briefly and then lead us in the Star Spangled Banner. So would you give a huge hand to State Senator Bruce Tarr, please?
Thank you very much, Maestro, and good morning, everyone. We can do better than that. Good morning, everyone. Fantastic. You know, it's really exciting to be here with all of you, and a real honor to be here with the Cape Ann Symphony, who is such a wonderful resource for all of us. And Symphony, I think we should say hi to the students, okay? So let's go. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. We are all so lucky to be here this morning to share in this musical experience, in this musical performance. And we're lucky that we have all of these talented, wonderful musicians who work so hard and work as a team to be able to give us this gift of music. And as is customary, we're going to start this performance with the playing of the Star Spangled Banner. Now, you may know that the Star Spangled Banner is based on a poem that was written by Francis Scott Key in 1814 because he was so inspired by watching a battle on Fort McHenry as it was being bombarded. And he was on a ship watching, hoping that the United States would prevail. And when the flag was still standing in the morning after that bombardment of what is estimated to be 1,800 bombs, the flag was still up. And he wrote the inspiring poem that led to the Star Spangled Banner. But it wasn't until 1931 that it became our national anthem. And so let's begin the concert with the playing of the Star Spangled Banner. And I am so pleased to hand the microphone and the baton back to our wonderful conductor of the Cape Ann Symphony, Yuichi Udagawa. Why don't you give him another round of applause?
You know what? I have to tell you, Bruce did a perfect job. Can you give him another hand, please? Senator Tarr, all right? Now, we're beginning the concert with the music of Mozart, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. And we have a terrifically talented young conductor in our orchestra who is going to lead the orchestra in the Mozart. And he's also the orchestra director at Ipswich High School. Would you give a big hand to Michael Coelho, please? Michael. Isn't that beautiful music? Now we're going to do a piece by Ludwig van Beethoven, the first movement from his Symphony Number 5. And before we do that, we're going to play, I'm going to show you all the different instruments of the orchestra very quickly, all right? And we're going to play a little excerpt for you, and then we're going to take it apart, and we're going to put it back together. All right, here's a little short excerpt from the end of this movement. Now, I'm going to introduce to you the strings first. Everybody repeat after me. Double bass. Double bass. Okay, here they are. When they travel, they have to buy a ticket for their bass. Right? On airlines, it's very expensive to travel if you're a bass player. Now, what are these instruments called? Cello. Okay, and how about these? Viola. Viola. Everyone say viola. Viola. Okay, violas are the most intelligent members of the orchestra generally. Give him a hand, would you? Now, what are these instruments called? Violins. That's right. And there's what is this group called? Do you remember? First violins, right? And second violins. By the way, first and second doesn't denote any kind of, one's better than the other. We just label it that, and they play different parts, all right? Here's the second violin part. And the firsts. Okay, so now I'm going to have all these guys play together so you can hear what the string section sounds like, all right? Say it with me. Bass, cello, viola, violin 2, violin 1. The string section. Okay. Now we're going to move to the woodwinds. Everyone say woodwinds. Okay. Now here's the bassoons. Check out the bassoons. You saw them earlier, but isn't that cool? All right. Here's what they sound like. Now the kitties, the clarinets. What's next? The oboes. Who said the oboes? Yeah, very good, very good. Oboes, somewhere over here too, all right? Here's the oboes. Here's what they sound like. Now it's the flutes. Guys, can you show them again? Just one more time. Here we go. Okay, repeat after me. Bassoons, clarinets, oboes, flutes, woodwind section. Okay, here's the woodwind section. All of those instruments together. It's interesting, right, how each sounds different, and then when they all get together, they also sounds good, right? Okay, we love that as musicians. Now, here's the next one, the brass section. Everybody say brass. Okay, here's the French horns. Woo! And here are the trumpets. They're like the football players of the orchestra. Okay. Now hear the brass section. Everyone say brass section. Brass section. Good. We have one last section left. Can anybody tell me what that is? Percussion. Very good. You guys are well prepared. Very good. I didn't know that stuff when I was your age. And I played the violin. Okay, so there's the timpani back there. Check this out. Now we're going to put it all back together, starting at the double basses, all right? And repeat after me. Say it with me. Basses, cellos, violas, violin 2, violin 1, and then we're going to add bassoons, clarinets, oboes, flutes, horns, trumpet, timpani. Okay, and you'll see how all of these voices come together to make one powerful sound. Here we go. that's really cool, right? How it just kind of comes together, all right? So I want you to be thinking about what instrument you want to learn, all right? So here is the first movement of Beethoven's Symphony Number 5. Now, what are we doing next? Everybody knows, right? Peter and the Wolf. And who was it written by? Who wrote Peter and the Wolf? Peter wrote it? Prokofiev. Can everyone say Sergei Prokofiev? And where do you think, which country do you think he comes from? Russia. Okay, good. You got that part. Excellent. And we have a wonderful person narrating it. Would you give a huge hand for Heidi Dallin, please?
How is everybody this morning? Good. So you all ready for the story of Peter and the Wolf? Yes? Okay. Well, this is the story of Peter and the Wolf. And like all stories, it has characters. But this is a musical story, and a different instrument of the orchestra represents each character. So that you all can recognize these characters every time they appear in the story, I'm going to ask the various instruments to show them to you. Ready? The bird is represented by the flute. Yes, you can clap. Yes. Clapping is always a good thing. The duck is represented by the oboe. Listen to her quacking. The cat is represented by the clarinet. Listen to her creeping on her velvet paws. The grandfather, very serious and strict, is represented by the bassoon. The wolf is represented by 3 French horns. Watch out! Here he comes. Peter is the hero of our story, and he is so important that he has a tune to himself played by all the strings of the orchestra. The hunters are represented by this melody, played by the wind instruments of the orchestra. Even the rifle shots of the hunters have a theme to themselves, played by the timpani and the big bass drum. And now, our story. Once upon a time, there was a boy called Peter. He and his grandfather lived in a cottage with a large garden surrounded by a high stone wall. Outside, there was a great meadow with a big tree and a large pond. And just beyond the meadow, there was a deep, dark forest. Early one morning, Peter opened the gate and went out into the meadow. Branch of a big tree sat a little bird, Peter's friend, Birdie. All is quiet, chirped Birdie gaily. Just then, a duck came waddling along. She was glad that Peter had not closed the gate and decided to take a nice swim in the deep pond in the meadow. Seeing the duck, the little bird flew down upon the grass, settled next to her, and shrugged her shoulders. "What kind of a bird are you," said Birdie, "if you can't fly?" To this, the duck replied, "What kind of a bird are you if you can't swim?" and dived into the pond. They argued and argued, the duck swimming in the pond and the little bird hopping along the shore. Suddenly, something caught Peter's attention. he noticed a cat crawling through the grass. The cat thought, the bird is busy arguing. I'll just grab him. And stealthily, she crept toward him on her velvet paws. "Look out!" shouted Peter, and immediately the bird flew up into the tree. While the duck quacked angrily at the cat. From the safety of the middle of the pond, the cat crawled around the tree and thought, meow, is this worth climbing up so high? By the time I get there, the bird will have flown away. Grandfather came out. He was angry because Peter had gone to the meadow. It is a dangerous place. What if a wolf should come out of the forest? What would you do then? Peter paid no attention to his grandfather's words. Boys like Peter are simply not afraid of wolves. But Grandfather took Peter by the hand, locked the gate, and led him home. No sooner had Peter gone than a big gray wolf came out of the forest. In a twinkling, the cat climbed up the tree. quack, quack, quacked, and in her excitement, foolishly jumped out of the pond. But no matter how hard the duck tried to run, she couldn't escape the wolf. He was getting nearer and nearer, catching up with her. And then he got her, and with one gulp, he swallowed her. And now, this is how things stood. The cat was sitting on one branch. The bird on another. But not too close to the cat. And the wolf walked round and round the tree, looking up at them with hungry eyes. In the meantime, Peter stood behind the closed gate, watching all that was going on. He wasn't at all afraid. He ran home, got a strong rope, and climbed up the high stone wall. One of the branches around which the wolf was walking stretched out over the wall. Grabbing hold of the branch, Peter lightly climbed over onto the tree. Peter said to the bird, "Psst, psst, psst, birdie, birdie, fly down and circle around the wolf's head. Only take care that he doesn't catch you." The bird almost touched the wolf's head with her wings, while the wolf snapped angrily. Again and again and again and again! The wolf was very hungry. Oh, how the bird did worry the wolf, and oh, how the wolf wanted to catch her. But the bird was far too clever for him, and the wolf simply couldn't do anything about it. Meanwhile, Peter made a loop in the rope and, carefully letting it down, caught the wolf by the tail and pulled with all his might. Feeling himself caught, the wolf began to jump wildly, trying to get free. But Peter had tied the other end of the rope to the tree. And the wolf's jumping only made the rope around his tail tighter. Just then, out of the woods came the hunters. Following the wolf's trail and shooting as they entered the meadow. In the tree, a birdie and I have already caught the wolf. Please, will you help us take him to the zoo? And now, imagine the triumphant procession. Peter marching at the head. After him, the hunters leading the wolf. Winding up the procession, Grandfather and the cat. Grandfather tossed his head discontentedly. This is all very well, but what if Peter had not caught the wolf? What would have happened then? Them flew the little bird, chirping merrily. My, what a brave pair we are, Peter and I. Look at what we have caught. And if you listen very carefully, you can even hear the duck quacking inside the wolf, because the wolf, in his hurry, had swallowed her alive.
Great father.